Welcome to Season 3 of Sailing Sitka. I'm Kenna and this is Jay. We live aboard our 1976 Choi Lee sailboat named Sitka, in which we have sailed south from Canada in 2022 to the very last port of Mexico. This season, we are finally exiting Mexico and taking our boat further through the Panama Canal and into the beautiful Central American waters. So hit that subscribe button and follow along, as this season we are sailing as far and wide as possible.
You guys you make this happen, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Sailing Sitka, and I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to this episode of Sailing Sitka, you guys. We are on the move. We are sailing here in the San Blas Islands. Just rolled out the Jenny and the mizzen.
Just had the motor on, literally. That's the beauty of being in the San Blas, is there's always wind, so we can sail right away, which is perfect because our current engine situation means that we can't rely on it and can only be at low RPM. So we should have filmed this morning. Obviously, like sometimes when you don't film, it's when there's drama, but there's this catamaran that arrived yesterday or the day before. We knew that by the time he dropped his hook and backed up on his anchor, he was going to be pretty much right above our anchor. We didn't say anything because he was still a fair distance away, but we knew it was going to be tight. Luckily, the wind's pushing us off him because as we're coming up. But the problem on our boat is that I always have to be between the helm and running forward to do the anchor chain, especially because it's windy, and Kenna's down below pushing the chain, so I'm running back and forth. And then by the time the anchor was up and down, meaning like I'm just about to pull the anchor right off the ground, we were maybe 7 foot from his boat. And then he comes to the cockpit and he's like, are you good? Are you having problems? I'm like, no, the only problem is you're literally above my anchor. But yeah, right now we're doing good. We're doing 4.5 to 5.5, and we only have the mizzen up and a reef genoa, like double reef genoa, and we're just taking it easy. It's like a nice little day. The waves are probably gonna start building once we're past the next group of islands. Even though we're in the San Blas, there's still, apparently yesterday there was like 2 to 3 meter waves. So.
It's probably blowing maybe 20-ish, probably 20 knots. We're already probably about 2 miles out from our anchorage, which is the nice thing about San Blas. There is wind all the time, and you are at least an hour or a few hours away from each anchorage, which is just like so nice compared to the Pacific coast.
And yeah, that was our short little hop over. So we can already see Holadaze Islands on the horizon, and we're just cruising on in. What's that?
There's so many masts here. One thing that's hard to get used to here is like the proximity to others at Anchorage, like, and the lack of seamanship, honestly. Like, and I don't think the lack of seamanship is higher because we're in the Caribbean. I just think it's higher because there's just more people. So the percentage of people who have no clue what they're doing is just higher. I think that's just the best way of putting it. The waves are actually decent size, but right now the entire Caribbean Sea is in a high seas gale forecast warning. So here we're lucky because we have a bunch of reefs that once you get in the Anchorage are completely protected, at least from the waves. But that doesn't mean that when we're sailing between islands we are. So right now we had like at one point we had 3-meter seas, which isn't great, but I mean for an hour it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't want to be doing this for like 3 days straight, but for an hour it's not that big of a deal. With just the furled genoa and the mizzen, that's really nice. Normally we, like I said before, you really use that for long offshore passages because the mizzen interferes with the wind vane, but when we're close like this and it's sunny, we're just using the autopilot. And upwind for an autopilot, if your boat's balanced, it's not as demanding on the autopilot as downwind, because like the wheel doesn't move a lot. On here it moves more because it's a small wheel, so you need more movement on a small wheel to actually turn the rudder. And that's why when you see big race boats, they have these giant wheels. It's not just a dick measuring contest. It's just you can do micro adjustments on a big wheel with just your fingers. In our case, upwind, and for most people, it takes a lot less power on your autopilots, way less demanding. Versus downwind, especially in big seas, your rudder, you have to go kind of hard over on the rudder a lot to like surf these waves, and that's where you're drawing a lot more electricity on your below deck autopilot in our case. So yeah, that's it.
It is like dusty.
Yeah, it's dusty. Of course, when I film it chills out, but it was like 20 for a little bit. But and then I grabbed it, and then it's the way it works. Anybody that films at sea knows if you film something it chills out or whatever, but believe me, it was at 20.
You probably can't hear anything, but we're anchoring now. Just like that, we are anchored. I'm already back in my moo-moo. Feels very good. And Jay's making some banana crepes, as the Frenchman he is. And he just finished doing his log.
Yeah.
And that's our morning.
Packed.
Yeah, it's
normally
so packed here.
Normally it'd be great because we'd have an outboard, but because we don't have an outboard, long row against the current here. Yeah. Green Island wasn't bad because we could row, but here
yeah, we're a bit far, but it's a very safe spot, so we're pretty happy with it. Just makes for a very long row, but that's not that bad. Life could be worse, you know? It's pretty windy still. But yeah, I'll show you how packed it is over on the Bug Island there. Jay wanted me to tell you that there is a reef right in front of us, so we couldn't go any further up if we wanted to anyway. Anyway, that's us. Good morning.
They don't call it the swimming pool for nothing. This Anchorage is stunning, with crystal clear, shallow water that makes it feel more like a luxury pool than the open sea. While we didn't manage to snag a spot in the exact swimming pool Anchorage, it's almost always packed, We're tucked around the corner, and that's close enough for us. This place is easily one of our favorites among all 365 islands that make up the San Blas. If you're sailing nearby, this is one stop you won't want to miss. The colors here look like they've been dialed up in Photoshop. Electric blues, soft sandy shallows, and the islands fringed with swaying palms that feel plucked from a dream. The stillness of the water makes you forget that you're at sea, and the calm it brings is the kind that seeps into your bones. It's the kind of anchorage that reminds you why you chose this lifestyle in the first place. A place where time slows down, routine melts away, and you're left with only the sound of the breeze, the lapping water, and your own breath.
All right, so it's been quite crazy here in the San Blas for the last couple days. Yesterday we heard a plane flying right above us, and then we heard like what we thought was gunshots, but at first we thought it was just fireworks or firecrackers, but no, it was gunshots. So I guess they caught some people smuggling drugs from Colombia, and now there's like these big military ribs. I don't want to film too close, I don't want to have them come board us, but yeah, it's been crazy. Like, just like we heard a plane fly super low above us, and we're not near any airports, and then we heard like, we thought it was firecrackers at first, but then we went to the beach later to a little bar, and the local kunas were telling us, like over there it's all police, and we could see a bunch of people in the trees hiding, and then they arrested like 3 guys, I guess 3 kunas were caught like smuggling drugs, I guess. I mean, this is like cocaine highway here between Colombia and Panama, so there's still 2 ribs over there, but yeah, they're like dipping over there. You'll see them go through. There you go, big old panga. But yeah, kind of crazy stuff you see in movies.
The next day brought something we hadn't seen in over a month: rain. Since the start of dry season, clear skies had been the norm, so the downpour came as a bit of a surprise. While rain can be a mood killer for most, for sailors, especially those without a water maker, it's actually a welcome sight. On Sitka, we collect rainwater to use for showers, dishes, cleaning, and more. It also gave us a chance to rinse the salt off the rigging and decks, giving Sitka a much-needed freshwater rinse. Out here, rain isn't just weather. It's a gift, and every once in a while, it's exactly what we need.
Okay, world of YouTube, we need your opinion. Kenna's about to do a travesty. Yeah, like what? This puts you on the no-fly list.
Jay.
So I'm having a rum and coke like a normal person, or I would have a glass of wine like a normal person. No, Kenna, what are you having? What is it even called?
It's called something.
Most things are called things.
It's in Europe, which I've never been to Europe, but I've heard about this, where you do a little bit of red wine and a little bit of Coke.
And this is the finest Gap Sabs, dude. I can't believe you're wasting that.
$2.99 at Super 99.
$2.99 at Super 99.
$2.99 at Super 99. So you just go like this.
Mm.
And I personally like a little half and half.
Oh my god.
2 shots of vodka.
That's a heavy pour. If you want Kenna to come bartend at your local events, just let us, give us a message in the description. So
Okay, look, see? I'm not lying.
All right, guys.
Try it. Just wait.
Okay, so
it's cherry Coke, Jay. You can't even tell me it's bad.
oh, it's not good.
No, you're such a
I
liar.
don't like it, but
You're such a. It's a thing. I'm not dumb. It's a thing. People do it.
all right. So the word for this week is If you're with Kenna, comment the word wine. If you're with Jay, comment the word rum.
No one's gonna be with me.
No, well, we never know.
No one's gonna be on my side.
Let's see.
The Calimoco is Spain's delightfully rebellious answer to the question, what if wine but make it soda? Born in Basque town of Algorta in the 1970s, this iconic concoction didn't come from a swanky bar. No, but a local festival where organizers were struck with red wine that tasted like regret. In a moment of boozy brilliance or maybe sheer desperation, they poured in some Coca-Cola, gave it a swirl, and voila, a legend was born. It quickly became a cultural staple, especially during Botellón, a Spanish tradition of gathering in a public space to drink, socialize, and completely ignore glassware etiquette. It's cheap, it's cheerful, and believe it or not, both Lady Gaga and Michael Jackson were fans. She reportedly orders one, and Jackson infamously dubbed it his version of Jesus juice. Fun fact, the Calimoco has international cousins, Ketemba in South Africa and Bambus in Croatia. Sure, it sounds a little strange, I get it, but don't knock it until you try it. It's way better than you think. It's literally so good.
And this is swimming pool. So right now it's like 2 something in the afternoon. And just had a really chill day, really. Made some breakfast. Talked to both my parents on the phone. Starlink, Kenna just vacuumed, so the vacuum's charging because we're full of solar right now. And now we're just having a little afternoon cocktail and we're gonna play a game of rummy. Probably 2 games of rummy because usually I win 1 and Kenna wins 1. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the little update. So make sure to comment. Thank you all for commenting, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. All right. Ciao, guys.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Sailing Sitka. Stick around for more to come. If you enjoyed, please spread the love and let us know. Special thank you to our Patreon members for making these videos possible, as well as helping our dreams come true. See you all next week.